Grand Rising, everybody. I'm Tarhaka. I'm on L Bay, and today we're going to be dealing with the Internal Revenue Service. Okay, we want to look at something here for a minute. Let's take a look at the word repeal as it is described in Black's Law Dictionary, and this is the 6th edition here. Okay, we're going to deal with it from there. Let's see. Repeal. The abrogation or annulling of a previously existing law by the enactment of a subsequent statute, which declares that the former law shall be revoked and abrogated, which is called express repeal, or which contains provisions so contrary to or irreconcilable with those of earlier law that only one of the two statutes can stand in force, called implied repeal. To revoke, abolish, annul, to rescind, or abrogate by authority. Galanda, Lead Mines versus Neal, 82, Idaho, 96. 350 P 2D 221 C 221 223 to repeal. Okay, now let's take a look at something else over here. Let's take a look at the word denationalization as applied to a person to act of depriving him of national rights or status. As applied to an industry or function, the act of returning it to private ownership and control after a period of national or sovereign ownership and control. Denationalization. That's interesting. And we're going to deal with some of that today too. By the way, Grand Rising. But let us get in here and deal with this Internal Revenue Service business. Let's find out what that's about. Let's go. Okay, everybody, here we go. The Internal Revenue Service is a private corporation. Wow. Okay, now, for those of us who know the difference between public and private, and for those of us who are secured party and creditors who live in the private, who understands that mixing public and private will get you in trouble, we don't do that. But let's take a look at what we got going on here. This here thing say the Internal Revenue Service is a private corporation. Now this information was put out back in 2006, but let's get down in here. A thorough review of available 31 U.S.C. sections, executive orders of the Secretary of the Treasury, United States of America, discloses the following facts. Okay, this is where it came from. 31 U.S.C. is the designated U.S. Code section for tax regulations and administration of the U.S. Treasury Department operations. Subsequent regulatory administration activities are covered by Treasury orders from the Treasury Secretary. Several actions within 31 U.S.C. state explicitly that authority may only be delegated to subordinates by the Treasury Secretary through Executive Treasury Orders, Public Law 94-455 in 1976. Further clarifies, this specifically requiring all regulations and Internal Revenue Code sections be amended to reflect that only the Treasury Secretary had the authority to take enforcement action and carry out administration of all Treasury functions, and that any delegation of authority had to be by Treasury order. Okay, you got that? All right, let's go to number 2. A close review of 31 U.S.C. discloses that the Internal Revenue Service, a private corporation, is not shown as a division, bureau, or any part of the U.S. Treasury. Department. All this can be looked up anytime on 1stgov.31 USC Chapter 3. Does not list the IRS as an agency or part of the Treasury Department. 31 USC Subtitle 6. Government Corporation, 31 USC Subtitle 1, Chapter 9, Section 901, does not list the IRS as an authorized agency. Isn't that interesting, y'all? But as soon as you get something in the mail from the Internal Revenue Service, everybody panic. Oh man, they're gonna do this. Oh Lord, amazing. The Internal Revenue Service lists its authority for operation as Internal Revenue Code, Section 7801, in many of the IRS publications. RC 7801 does not say one word about the IRS, only the ATF and the U.S. Justice Department. The IRS is not statutory law in any case and cannot serve to authorize any agency. Section 7801, Section 7802, Section 7803 of the IRC are administrative sections added by the IRS Special Counsel and are not supported by the CFR and are not law. Only CFR or USC is law, which are promulgated by acts of the U.S. Congress through public law passage. Okay, we're going to stop right there. I think you should have the gist of this thing of what's going on by now. And so the next time you're contacted by the Internal Revenue Service, you know what to do. When you formulate your affidavit, you know what to put in it. Right? Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Hold on a minute. Internal revenue laws were repealed. Now, we just dealt with the word repeal now. So we go back and match it up. Background. When Congress passes laws, there's a very specific procedure that they follow. Laws are enacted by either a bill or a resolution that may originate in the House or the Senate. A bill that has been agreed to in an identical form by both bodies becomes law of the land only after 1. Presidential approval, 2. Failure by President to return it with objections to the House in which it originated within 10 days. Son is accepted. While Congress is in session, or 3, the overriding of a presidential veto by 2/3 vote in each House. Okay. Once a bill or resolution is enacted, it must be published. One of the important steps in the enactment of a valid law is the requirement that it shall be made known to the people who are bound by it. This makes sense since the people must have a place to refer to in order to find out what their obligations are, if any, to the government. We'll deal with this word government in a minute. When the bills and resolutions are enacted, they are first published as a slip law, which means they are published in an unbound pamphlet. These slip laws become competent evidence in all federal and state courts, tribunals, and public offices. They then become published in the United States statutes at large, and these are legal evidence of the laws and are accepted as proof of the laws in any court in the United States. Okay? All right. Now we're not going to do all of that. We're dealing with what? Internal revenue laws were repealed. We just deal with at the opening of this particular session, educational section, on the word repealed in Black's Law Dictionary 6th edition. Okay, so we can go and look at it and put this whole thing together. So let's move on here. Let's finish up on this I.R.S. All right, now earlier we dealt with denationalization. When you get a piece of paper or a document from somebody, that's evidence when it comes to race and national origin and stuff. You want to pay close attention to that. If they had me listed as black, African American, anything like that, because a noun, if you know anything about English, a noun is a person, place, or thing. That's a noun. An adjective describes a noun. Now, in the Constitution of the United States, they have us listed as 3/4 of a human being. Remember that? Now, if an adjective describes a noun, and you're walking around telling people, well, I'm black, I'm African American, I'm Negro, colored, Afro American. All of these are adjectives, so that means you're not a noun. So if you ask me, well, who are you? I say I'm a Moorish man. Moorish man. That's what I am. Declaration of Citizenship. First, middle, house, last. Family birthright, hereafter, first, last, or first, middle, last. Nickname, middle, last. And all other variations thereof to undesign, and of majority age having first had knowledge, hereby affirm and declare that if called upon as a witness, I will testify to the following facts, which I believe to be true and accurate to the best of my knowledge and understanding. I am a what? White male or female, natural born citizen making this declaration. I am a white male or female, born in the city, birth state, so on and so forth. Okay. So if we are dealing with citizenship, and we know the United States is a conglomerate of corporations, and a corporation can have citizens and they can only have employees. And just like Walmart, Sears, or any other corporation, uh, when it comes to you, if you're in the state of Florida, then you say, well, look, I'm not a citizen of a corporation because a corporation can't have citizens. However, I am a Floridian. I'm also a citizen of the Moorish American government. But citizenship. And the reason I'm bringing this information up is because when you begin to put things together for yourself, and you begin to put it in writing, especially once you learn or become a secure party and creditor. Remember, we talked about it in previous broadcasts. In order to get that done, you contact us at tarhakadebtelimination.org. Once you get that done, now you begin to get into the private. You start making things, putting stuff down on paper that you can defend and you can verify. You know, the laws and stuff are right there for you. The law books are there for you to assist you in anything that you want to do. Being a secure party and creditor, tarhakadebtelimination.org, contact us and we get you say. Okay, Declaration of Citizenship, all of these documents that you're looking at now comes right out of our secure party and creditor. You'll be able to get a hold of that. And what we do is we walk you through this thing step by step so you can understand it. We don't just throw you out there and leave you trying to figure nothing out. We are there to assist you, and we do that by phone and by email. All you got to do is contact us. But you got to get the tools of production, and that's where we come in. And targetedelimination.org. I hope you got something out of this I.R.S. thing this morning. I just want to drop a little bit because I got to keep these videos short to keep it moving so we can keep dropping it. Talk to you later. Grand Rising.